Hawley.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thanks to all the witnesses for being here. Ms. Serrano, if I could just start with you, I want to say a particular thank you to you for the work and the incredible work that you do when it comes to human trafficking, child trafficking in particular. I know that you were 18 years as a federal prosecutor handling child pornography and child exploitation offenses. Those are terrible crimes to have to prosecute. And I want to thank you for doing that, and thank you now for the work that you do with Operation Underground Railroad. I mean, it's just incredible. I wonder if you could speak to us a little bit from your experience as a prosecutor and now as someone who is working to combat this epidemic of human trafficking, child sex trafficking in this country. It's a global epidemic, actually, but it's one, unfortunately, in this country, too. Can you talk to us a little bit about what you have seen in your experience about the connection between human trafficking and child pornography?
So human trafficking is a broad term that covers a bunch of different types of crimes, whether it's forced labor, et cetera. But within that, there's the sexual sex trafficking. And oftentimes when you're dealing with sex trafficking of minors, part of the process to break down the victim or potentially advertise the victim to sex buyers, traffickers, or folks create child pornography, which are sexually explicit pictures of children under the age of 18. Likewise, the flip side is if someone as a young child has been sexually abused as a child, perhaps they were victims of CSAM, child sexual exploitation material, they may not have gotten the resources or aftercare, for example, that my organization provides to get them the help that they need. Unfortunately, they become very vulnerable to become trafficked. So it's kind of like a chicken and the egg problem where sometimes one will influence or increase the other.
So let me ask you this. In terms of the children who are exploited in these images, is it fair to say that many of these children were sex trafficked, that they are trafficking victims themselves?
Of the ones that we can identify, sometimes, yes. The children that are depicted in the child pornography or CSAM images, some of them are trafficked, yes.
And what about the demand side of this? Because unfortunately, the reason that there is human trafficking of any kind, including sex trafficking in children, is because there's a demand for it. And in your experience, does child pornography help drive the demand for human trafficking and sex trafficking of children?
It can, yes. An argument that I would routinely make before district judges in my district would be, sometimes you have individuals who are looking at images online of child pornography. And then oftentimes that will not satiate their need for this material, and they'll go out and actually commit an offense. It's no different than you walk by, and this is a very simplistic analogy. You can walk by a bakery and smell the sugary, chocolate cake, but sometimes it gets to you so much you go in and buy a slice. Again, that's a very simplistic, I'm not trying to make light of it, but that's a very simple analogy to explain it.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for that. And again, thank you for the incredible work that you do. Mr. Marshall, General Marshall, thank you for being here. You're a prosecutor. You have been, even before this role, which is a prosecutorial one, you were a district attorney. Let me just ask you, when you recommended sentences to judges, which you would do in your role as a prosecutor, did you base your recommendation on what you thought was necessary to keep the public safe?
Senator, absolutely, and also the egregious nature of the facts that we were dealing with.
So if you made a recommendation to a judge and that judge went 90% or more below your recommendation that you thought was necessary to keep the public safe, would you be worried about the effect that might have in terms of endangering members of the community?
Gravely concerned, not only as it related to the particular case, but also the message it sent to the community about how we would hold individuals personally accountable for crimes they commit.
So in other words, if you have a judge who consistently sentences, let's say in an area, let's say child pornography, below what the government is asking for, what guidelines are asking for, you're saying that the message that sends is that you're not very tough on this, you're not willing to hold these people accountable. Have I got that right?
Absolutely.
So let me ask you this. You said also, you sentence based on the gravity of the crime. When it comes to things like child exploitation and images that exploit children, would you say that if you have an offender who has thousands of images, that's probably worse than an offender who has one or two, and that you might want to sentence that offender with hundreds and thousands more than the person who has one or two. Is that a fair thing to say?
It's fair, and in fact, it's been my practice. As somebody that has tried and convicted those who traffic in child pornography, I've had a chance to be able to see those images, because one of the things that I also do as that advocate is for that child that is in that image that has been harmed as a result of what's taken place. And so not only do we want to be able to deter that conduct, but also we want to be able to be that voice for the voiceless in this case, and those children whose images are being trafficked. Because
they often, the kids who have been trafficked, their images have been used, they often don't have anybody to speak for them, right? You come into court, the judge has got to do justice. In a way, the judge has got to do justice by them, on behalf of them, because there's nobody to speak for them. And it's not like they don't get to prosecute the case, right? A lot of times we don't even know who these kids are. We can't find them. We can't help them. So it's really up to the court to do something on their behalf. Is that fair to say?
The court is the ultimate voice.
Yeah. I wish that Judge Jackson shared your perspective, General. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator. I want to apologize to Senator Hirono. I recognize Senator Booker, and she was next in line. I hope she will forgive me.
I forgive you.
Thank you. Now I recognize.
Well, if you're asking for forgiveness, I was supposed to read something into the record just to ask Senator Hirono. The NAACP Legal Defense Fund asks that we enter their report into the record. May I do that?
Go ahead.
I would like to ask for that to be entered into the record.
Without objection.
Thank you very much.
Not patient. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Captain Thomas, Noble's support